I turned 32 last week, so I thought I would talk about 32 books that have meant something to me over my 32 years. Hello, I'm Zoe and welcome back to my channel, Zoe's All Booked. If you're new here, welcome to the shit show. So last week on my birthday, I actually did a short version of this and I said stay tuned for the long version. I'm going to be filming it right after. Life got in the way. Actually, I fell asleep right after I posted it. So here we are several days later, finally filming the 32 books that have meant something to me over 32 years. Some of these books are ones that kind of shaped the reader that I am and the person that I am today. Some are ones that came at a pivotal time in my life, and some are ones that pissed me off so much that they changed me, or that they made me realize some things about life or myself. Anyways, these are in no particular order. Let's just get right into this because this thing is going to start screaming soon. I've got a bottle here, and my other 3 kids are going to be home, and I will not have silence to do this. So, let's go. Starting with whatever's closest to me here, The Subtle Knife by Philip Pullman. This one in particular, not the first book, The Golden Compass, or the third book, The Amber Spyglass, from the series His Dark Materials. This one, because it taught me I could not trust any bitches, ever. Dude, where are you going? Let me get cozy here for a second and start feeding him. Hi, you're so beautiful. So the story with this one is that I asked my brother to go get a book for me, and he said, what's it called? I was like, it's a purple one called The Subtle Knife. This was one of those words that I had learned by reading it and not hearing it, so the first time I said it out loud was in that moment, and I can still hear the way he started like scream laughing, and then he called my mom over so she could also start scream laughing, and I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is going on? I was like 7 or 8 years old. When did this book come out? When was I betrayed? Can I just get the copyright page, please? That would be so fantastic. There we go. 1990. Okay, no, yeah. This came out when I was 4 years old, so I did not read it at 4, but I think I was like 8, maybe 9, actually. Either way, ruined me. And I was like, well, I'm never going to speak out loud again. And then high school came, and I thought it was pronounced macabre. Anyways, next up, oh, sorry, bud, is The A-List by Zoe Dean, spelled incorrectly. This is an iconic series in my life. It like, classic YA trash. It's so bad that it's good. But I have been trying to read this series since I was like 13, 14 years old, maybe. I finally have all of the books. I got them when I was like 30, maybe, and that year, maybe last year. I have read the first book probably 10 times now. And the first few, like 6 or 7 each. I have not gotten past maybe book 6. I will try again in 2026. I have tried every single year. And for some reason, ooh. You good? Are we okay? Yeah. Okay. We just need a little rest. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what it is. Like maybe the 5th book, I start reading it and then I'll put it down for a day and I will just forget to go back to it. The universe says no. One day. I didn't even say what this book was actually about. So this is the 2nd book in the series, so I will not be talking about this one. But the first book follows a girl named Lyra and something about child snatchers and yes, like Scandinavia? I don't even know. Philip, where are you? Where are the peas? I don't have time to be fucking around like this. P-M-N-O. You're gonna be far away, aren't you? Sorry, bud. Oh my god, it's right over there. There we are. Lyra is content to run wild among the scholars. Oh, sorry, bud. In Jordan College, her demon familiar always by her side. I thought it was pronounced Damon for the longest time. But the moment she hears hush talk of dust with a capital D, an extraordinary particle, she's drawn to the heart of a terrible struggle. A struggle born of gobblers and stolen children, witch clans, and armored bears. And as she hurtles towards danger in the cold far north, young Lyra never suspects the shocking truth. Her destiny must be fulfilled, not in this world, but far beyond. Shaped my childhood, this series. I loved it so fucking much. And then this one, The A-List, follows Anna, a girl who is moving from the East Coast, living with her mom, to the West Coast to live with her dad. And then she meets a group of catty bitches and just the shenanigans of being a young, hot teen, early 20-something in LA. And having far too much money and far too little sense. So bad, but so fucking good. Oh! Funny bone. That hurt. Next up is Mr. Monday by Garth Nix, the first book in the Keys to the Kingdom series. I went with this one because I spent so many fucking hours playing the game on the Scholastic website. My dude, you can chill out and go a little slower. You are your father's son, my goodness. There's a game on the Scholastic website for this book. And I remember spending way too much fucking time playing this. And I tried to find it a couple years ago, but I could not find it at all. You're a very loud eater, my guy. You're so cute, though. If you know the game that I'm talking about, please let me know if you can find it, because I would like to relive my childhood. I finally finished this series 2-3 years ago, and it did not end the way I was expecting it to. But it was good. I did like it. So this one follows a guy named Arthur, who is not supposed to be a hero. He's just a guy with asthma who is supposed to die very, very young. But then his life is saved by this mysterious key shaped like the hand of a clock. I mean, that would fuck me up too, especially as someone with asthma. So Arthur is safe, but the world is not. Along with the key comes a plague brought by bizarre creatures from another realm. Are you smiling? You like this book? Yeah. A stranger named Mr. Monday has avenging messengers with bloodstained wings, and an army of dog-faced fetchers will stop at nothing to get this key back from this kid, even if it means destroying Arthur and everything around him. Hi! Oh, you're a handsome man. Okay, we'll take a break. So Arthur is desperate at this point to save himself, to save everybody, to get this fucking guy away from him, so he enters this house, a mysterious house that only he can see. Would I have done that? Like, probably not. To save everybody, maybe. But, like, I'm not going into a mysterious house that I can see and nobody else can. No fucking thank you. R.I.P. We're done for. Anyways, Arthur goes into this house, and in this house, he must unravel the mysteries, the secrets of the key, and discover his true fate, which definitely took a turn over the course of the 7 books, one for each day of the week. Next up, I'm still angry about this. Divergent by Veronica Roth. If you know, you know. So I read this book when Allegiant came out. Allegiant, Insurgent, whatever the third one is. I don't remember. Or I might have read this one first and then the others. Anyways, my little cousin got all 3 books as a present for Christmas at some time ago, whenever the last book came out. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna read those. So I stayed up all night binging 3 books. We were supposed to drive from southwestern Ontario to Chicago, a 4-hour drive the next morning to go visit my aunt who was in the hospital. I stayed up all night long, so I was very groggy. I was very grumpy that whole drive. I did sleep, but I was very carsick. I wasted all of that fucking time just to be pissed off and disappointed and devastated at the way that it all played out. Again, if you know, you know. And like, yeah, I get it, whatever, like artistic choice, whatever. It was fucking stupid and I hated it. We're calm. I am 32 years old. I can have some chill. Anyways, this is the first time that I was ever betrayed by an author in that way. I hoped that it would never happen again. But it did, and we'll find out later on. This is about Tris, I think her name is. Beatrice Pryor, yes, Tris. She's in dystopian Chicago, so it was very apropos that I was reading this before going to Chicago. It's divided into 5 factions, each dedicated to the cultivation of a particular virtue. Candor, the honest; abnegation, the selfless; dauntless, the brave; amity, the peaceful; and erudite, the intelligent. And then one day every year, all 16-year-olds must select the faction to which they will devote the rest of their lives, because you absolutely know anything about yourself at 16 years old that will define you for the rest of your life. Absolutely, 100%. Makes total sense, yes. For Beatrice, she needs to choose between staying with her family and deciding who she really is. She can't have both. She makes a choice that surprises everyone, including herself. Bless you, my love. So she renames herself Tris during this competitive initiation, struggles to determine who her friends really are. Yes. And where exactly a romance with a sometimes fascinating, sometimes infuriating boy, as they are, fits into the life that she's chosen. But she's also got a secret, because if anybody finds out, she'll die. She'll be killed. And then she discovers a growing conflict that threatens to unravel her seemingly perfect society. We all know it's bullshit. And she also learns that her secret might help her save those that she loves, or destroy her. Probably both. And she will probably die. Yeah, I'm still angry. We're fine. We're fine. Moving on. I can have some semblance of chill. How are those hiccups doing for you, bud? Oh, you got little spitty yaps. Let me wipe that. Let me get you cute. Let me get you cute. Hi. Next up, Twitches by H.P. Gilmore and Randy Reisfeld. This is another one. This has been in my life for a very, very long time. I don't even have all of the books. I'm still missing like book 8. I have not finished the series. I picked this one because this was the first time that I was like, I will do anything to protect my books. And I will be sneaky to protect my books. My mom decided that I was too old for a lot of my books when I was pretty young still, actually. And she decided to get rid of the baby books and whatnot. So I hid the books that I had for this series in a shoebox in the back of my closet. And she didn't find them. I forgot about them for years. And I found them. I was like, oh, right. Still fucking fantastic. I'm obsessed. This follows 2 twins, Cameron and Alex. Who is messaging me? I am busy. Oh, my husband. I'll message him back after. Follows Cam and Alex, who are twins that were separated at birth. They didn't know about this until they're like 14, 15 years old. And surprise, they're also witches. Like all this weird shit that's been happening their whole lives. There's a reason for that. And some shenanigans happen. They have been kept apart on purpose to protect themselves. Protect them. Yes, by the people that are in charge of them. And they're like, they can never meet because people will want to kill them if they are together, if their power manifests as it is intended to. Obviously, shit goes sideways, and they're about to meet. Woo! Next up, we have Wicked by Gregory Maguire. This one, I don't know if it sparked my love of retellings. No, it did not. Another book in here did. But this one, specifically, Wizard of Oz. I had always liked Wizard of Oz, which I will get to later on in this. It was a big part of my childhood. But this, obsessed with this in high school. Fuck me. Also, I think this might have been my first, like, sprayed edges that I ever got. Which, iconic. Also the color of my walls in high school. Whomst is that? Are the kids back already? I will be back to finish this shortly. But this one follows Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West, and her origin story and how she got to become the Wicked Witch of the West. Spoiler alert, she leads a fucked up life. I'll be back. Okay, well, one kid is back. 2 of them went to a hockey game with my in-laws. So I'm going to try and do as much of this as I can before the one that came back starts yelling, because he's going to sing the song of his people, and the little one is up in his playpen. Anyways, next up is The Divine Comedy by Dante. This copy in particular, we studied Inferno in a class in university, but I used my copy because I did this. This was my first experience tabbing and color coding to this extent. It was fucking fantastic. I loved it. I have read Inferno several times now. I have this like big ass illustrated edition of it. I had a couple copies of Inferno, but I loved The Divine Comedy. But this, I spent so much time tabbing it. What the fuck are they called? Canto. Each one is numbered all the way through here, color-coded by Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso, and then the index in each one, like, with the references, all color-coded. This changed me. I did this with another textbook for an open book test. Amazing. Okay, I gotta go get the little one. I'll be back in a second. He said, Mama, I can hear your voice, but I can't see you. Next up. Actually, first, Inferno follows a guy, Dante, as he goes into hell, led by the poet Virgil. And then he goes through all of the circles of hell, and then he goes up into purgatory and up into paradise, and it's fantastic. What am I hearing? What is that child doing up there? Just being a general crackhead. Okay. Next up is The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. This one was a very big moment in my life because this was the first book that I realized I could use as a comp title for one of the books that I'm working on. Actually, the current book that I'm working on, that I'm like regularly sending to my writing group for critique and beta reading, and I'm just very, very excited about it. This one, because of the way it's told, like the format that it's written in, kind of like flashbacks, but not really, there's a word for it, but I can't think of it right now. This was huge. Like, I love the series itself. It's so good. But the fact that this is the very first one that I'm like, this is gonna be a comp title for my book. This is very special to me. This one follows a guy named Kieran who grew up in the slums of Kerr. He is a thief and a minstrel's son, raised on tales of long-lost princes and magnificent queens, and then he's claimed against his will as the son of a treasonous prince. And he's like, what the fuck? I didn't sign up for this. And especially once he becomes a pawn in his new family's, like, ruthless political power plays and their ambition and all of the stupid shit that they get themselves into. He doesn't want to be part of it, but he, unfortunately, has become part of it. And while he is basically a prisoner to this family, he realizes that being a long-lost prince is not what the stories made it out to be. It's pretty fucking shit. Basically, these stories lied. And they lied about a lot of other things too. Dragons, demons, gods, prophecies, love, and how the hero always wins. Then again, Kieran may not be the hero after all, because he is not destined to save the Empire. He is destined to destroy it. Like, I read this synopsis and I was like, yes, sign me right the fuck up. And that series took me on a fucking journey, let me tell you. Speaking of going on a journey, this next one, I am so sorry, my guy. These are not in a good spot for this endeavor. The next one made this list because it is the heckiest chonker I've ever seen. It's the biggest book that I own. Look at this thing. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the size of my child's head. Like, the thickness. To Green Angel Tower by Tad Williams. The third book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy. One of my favorites. So good. The first book follows Simon, a kitchen boy, when he is sent on a quest to find... Why can't I remember? There's swords. A king dies, and one son gets into power when he should not. And he basically ruins everything, and he gets into some shit that he really should not have done. And he kind of fucks everybody. So Simon is sent on a quest to... What is going on up there? I don't remember what I can say without giving it away. But there are swords involved. Ancient swords. And a group of people known as the League of the Scroll, who are like the knowledge keepers of the world. Anyways, this scrawny little kitchen boy is sent off to make sure that the world doesn't go entirely to shit. Which, always a great idea. 100%, always. 1 minute, Carter. Woo, time for a burpee burp. And then we have The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. We're gonna... You can't even see that if it's up there. Again, another one of my favorite series, but this one made the list because this is the first time that my brother has truly listened to me when I said read a damn book that I recommend, and he is loving it. He's sending me voice notes consistently. I think he's some way into the fourth book. He's been listening to the audiobooks, changing his life. So finally, the bitch has redeemed himself, and he's listening to me. I love this series so much. It follows Gavin Guile, who is the Prism. He's basically the most powerful guy. He's the emperor. He's a religious leader. He's the shit. And it's his job to preserve this tenuous peace that's going on in the world. Unfortunately, he is the Prism, and prisms never last long. Even more unfortunately, Gavin Guile knows exactly how long he has left. So that's just a weight on the shoulders, weighing you down, anchoring, if you will. It's gotta fucking suck. To add on to this giant pile of shit that he's gotta deal with in his life, you know, being super duper powerful and having everything that he could ever want and whatnot, he discovers that he has a son, born after the war that put him into power. And if anybody finds out about this child and other secrets that he's, you know, got brewing in his life, shit's gonna hit the fan. Aggressively. With a quickness. So now he's got to decide how much he's going to pay to keep the secret that could tear the entire world apart. I'm due for a reread of this. Because my brother's reactions are so on point, honestly, I got to get him to read something else now. And just, like, get his reactions, because they're very entertaining. And I think everybody else would be entertained as well. So, help me convince him to read something shocking. Do I get him to read Throne of Glass? Tell me, yes or no, or, you know, recommend something that I should get him to read that is going to leave him, as the youth say, shooketh. Do people say that anymore, or am I just aging myself here? Anyways, I don't fucking know. Next up is The Queen of Blood by Sarah Beth Durst. This is one of the most underrated series, and it has become, like, part of my brand now to tell people to read this book, which is why I chose this one. So fucking good. Okay? So good. Stop what you're doing, read this, or add it to the TBR, but like put it at the top of the list, not at the end of the 6,000 book TBR that I know you got going on, okay? Don't lie to yourself, don't lie to me. Put it on the list at the top, go read it. Thank you. It's got the fall vibes. Alright? Thank you. I'm so sorry for being aggressive, but please. Okay, thank you. This one follows Delena in a world where everything has a spirit. The rocks, the trees, the wind, the water, like everything has a spirit. And these spirits hate humans. They want them all to fucking disappear because humans just destroy everything. And like, can you fucking blame them? I can't. That's for sure. But women are born with the power to control these spirits. You know, some can do just like one or two at a time. Some are a little bit more powerful. But the most powerful of all becomes the queen. And she can control all of the spirits at once. And her number one command is to do no harm. They fight against this at every possible opportunity, which brings us to Delena. Her village is destroyed as a young girl, so she's like, I am going to do something about this. I am going to become powerful enough that I can stop this happening to anybody else. On the other side of the kingdom, the realm, or whatever, we've got disgraced ex-champion Ven, who is just trying to stop these like rogue attacks that are happening from the spirits. He just wants to go back to life how it was. He wants to stop the spirits from being little bitches and just live a quiet life. Ven and Delena get thrown together in this quest of his to stop everything, and they are on their way to find out why these attacks are happening, how they're happening, and how they can get them to stop. And they start uncovering secrets, as one does, and they need to really stop this shit before everything is bathed in blood. It's, so good. The whole kingdom is in a forest. It's fall vibes. You just, please go read it. Please go read it. Who is yoo-hooing at me? Oh, it's an email. I got a tattoo yesterday. I'll put a picture up here of like when it was done, because it's covered in second skin right now, and it's in an awkward spot. It was just a follow-up email about like tattoo aftercare. I'm very excited. It is my 4th tattoo. Finally, I've been wanting one. I had an appointment booked, but then COVID and pregnancies kept happening. So here we are. 2025, I got it. Next up is Matched by Ali Condi, but specifically this gold anniversary edition. The series itself, average, mid, as they say. I remember thinking it was super cheesy when I read it in high school, like the first one. I finally finished the trilogy after I got this copy, but this one is very special to me. So I'm gonna cover my child with it now. This one marks, like, basically the peak of my booktube channel. It's all been downhill from here. Not 100% true, but kind of, because I stopped being able to post regularly after this. Well, actually, when did this come out? When did the video happen? If you go to my channel and you see like the pinned video or whatever, okay, yeah, 4 years ago, but when 4 years ago? November 20, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is when like the regular hiatuses, whatever, started on my channel. So this book was very kindly sent to me by Penguin Teen back in October of 2020, maybe September. And they sent me a hamster ball, like a blow-up giant hamster ball, like this, so that I could somehow incorporate it into a video to promote the release of this, yes, this special edition. You need to keep burping? And I was like, okay, I got this. I have a great idea. I had been wanting to start a series where I was sending book characters to therapy, because Lord knows they need it. And I was like, I could do one about book characters and their cover art. So, go watch that video if you haven't seen it. It is my best work to date. And I got into a giant hamster ball, and I used a green screen that I had as this dress, because I did not have a long green dress, and it was iconic. However, I was very anxious going into that bubble because I had just found out that I was pregnant. Like, a couple days before filming it. Maybe the day before. And I was like, can I do this? So I didn't even inflate it all the way. I was panicking. I'm like, this is probably not a good idea. I was totally fine. That was like the biggest collaboration I've ever done with a publisher yet. We're going to manifest getting back into doing all of this. But that was when I got pregnant with my second kid. And I have not, one, stopped having children since then. And two, haven't had the time. I'm always either pregnant or with a newborn or multiple other children, so I haven't been able to like post regularly since then, pretty much. So iconic, but also like depressing. But we're gonna get back into filming regularly. That is an upset child, because he can hear me but he can't see me. He cannot find me. Super quick, gonna say what this is about. I'm gonna go get the child. Follows Cassia, who lives in another dystopian world. She's always trusted the society's choices, and when she gets her match, she is certain that he's the one, but then he does not like this book. Another face flashes super quick on the screen and she's like, what the fuck? And then she's torn between deciding on doing what, you know, her life was supposed to be all laid out perfectly or following her heart, yada yada yada. Very cheesy. Very much early YA. But I will be back. I'm gonna go get that kid settled. I'm gonna get this kid settled. And we will continue on because we've got a lot more books to go. Holy cannoli. Thing 4 is asleep. Thing 1 is upstairs, hopefully not dicking around too much. So I'm gonna have some time to do this. So I need to stop dicking around and get through these. Alright, next up is, what the fuck is this called? Lyrical Ballads by Wordsworth and Coleridge. I picked this one because this was the very last book that I studied for university. It was one course just to finish out my credit requirements, and I actually liked this one quite a bit. I was surprised. Didn't think I would like it as much as I did. But it's a collection of poems by William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Did I say it right? It's a fucking tongue twister for me, okay? They're a collection of poems that he did from 1798 and 1802. But like, this was the end of an era. This is the last thing that I did for my 3 degrees. This was the last bit of studying that I ever had to do. And then when I graduated, it was a super big week because I did the graduation ceremony in October. So it was my nephew's birthday on the 15th. I graduated on the 18th. It was my birthday on the 21st. And then we got married on the 24th. That was a very big week that year. But this was the end of an era. I miss school so much, actually. Speaking of a book from school, The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. I read this for a course when we went to France for 2 weeks. It was like a photography and literature and whatever put on by a professor that I will be talking about with another book, actually. This was one of the books along with A Movable Feast. No. I don't even know anymore. I don't actually know if it was this book that I read for that trip. It might have been A Movable Feast, but I remember reading this like at the same time. There's also a book by Morley Callahan. But this was the one where I was reading it and I'm like, I fucking hate Ernest Hemingway. This was iconic because it helped me realize how much I fucking hate his writing style. Like, this pissed me off thoroughly. And I got the cute cover from Indigo and everything and let down. I cannot stand Ernest Hemingway. I'm okay admitting that, honestly. Next up, we've got Beauty and the Beast. This is the Mina Lima edition. It's very pretty. Let me see if I can... There's pop-ups. I still have like a tissue paper in here to protect it. The illustrations. I love Beauty and the Beast. I love Beauty and the Beast. It has been my shit since day one. Actually, the tattoo that I showed you before, in part inspired by Belle's rose. I always wanted a tattoo with the rose, and it matches the engagement ring that is rose-shaped, and one of the reasons why I wanted this one, again, Belle's Rose. I didn't super want to be Belle when I was a child. I wanted her library, and we're getting there. One day I will have it. But this one is good enough for now. Well, so I married a beast of a human. No, I didn't. He's cool. We like him. Next up, I have How We Fare by Marianne Mulhern. This is the one with the professor. This was one that I edited and published as part of a practicum at the University of Windsor back in 2015, 2016, I think, because it's like the full school year. So basically, we become interns for a publishing company called Black Moss Press, which is owned by a guy named Marty Gervais. He is also a writer. He was an editor for the local newspaper. He's a journalism professor there. So like he's a cool guy. I like Marty. This was the book that I worked on. My name is in this book on copyright page. Well, my maiden name, technically, but still, it's me. Along with everyone else in the group. I am in the acknowledgements of a book. Oh my god. But this was a really cool experience for me. It was my first time getting a publishing credit. It's my first time getting an editing credit. Like, it was cool. It was a cool experience. This book and this course ties into another book that I have in the list here. But yeah, this was a big time in my life, and it was the first time I've ever seen my name in a book in print, and it's gonna happen again. One day. Next up is Look Me in the Eye, My Life with Asperger's by John Elder Robison. Not a book I've actually read. This is not my book. This is a book I bought for my husband. This was the first book that I have given to him to read that he actually read all the way through. This is a big moment in my life. He actually did it. He's not a reader. He'll sit and like read forums and whatnot on his phone, but he will not sit and read a physical book. This one and one other one. And I think that one he's read twice now. I'm so proud of him, but I'm also proud of myself for getting him a book that he related to, and two, that he actually fucking read. Mind-blowing. There is nothing bigger to a reader than somebody actually like taking your recommendations and saying, I liked it. The Black Prism, this one, The Queen of Blood, everybody with, there's other books here. Like, that's all I wanted for my birthday. Okay. And my brother delivered saying more shit about how much he loves the fourth book in the Black Prism series at the Lightbringer. What the fuck have I been doing with my life? We all know what Beauty and the Beast was about. This one, I actually couldn't even fucking tell you what it's about anymore. A soldier, a poignant look at the disillusionment and angst of the lost generation following World War I. Follows Lady Brett Ashley and a war survivor Jake Barnes. Why is this child awake? Establishing him as one of the greatest writers of the 20th century. My ass. Then this one is a series of essays about an autistic guy and his life experiences. Oh yes, he was diagnosed as an adult at 40. So realizing how like it shaped his life experiences. And looking back and realizing that, you know what? He was not a fucking problem. And then this one is a book of poetry based on titles from articles. So like each one has got the poem and then in the footnotes, the actual article that it was taken from. I gotta go put that kid sus in. I will be right back. Anyways, this thing started crying. I went to go check on Thing 1. Found him naked from the waist down. His diaper, or his pull-up next to him, eating an orange peel. Go off, King. That kid is so fucking entertaining, honestly. Next up is The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis, the first book in the Chronicles of Narnia. Not the first published book, but chronologically, the first book. This was one of the many series that one of my aunts got me as a little kid. She honestly is responsible for a lot of like this. These are my fantasy shelves behind me, and she is responsible for a lot of that. Everyone say thank you, Thea Maria, for starting an obsession. After I read this, I think I went 10 years in a row reading this series once a year. I spent a lot of time reading this series, and it's been a few years since I've read it. Why? I couldn't tell you. So I'm due for a reread, but this took up a large chunk of my childhood, reading this series. I threw the book down. I forgot to say what it was about. Anyways, it follows two little kids in London, England. London, I think. Diggory and Polly, the two kids. They meet one summer in London, think they're going to have a grand old time until Diggory's absolute batshit crazy Uncle Andrew discovers a different realm, a way to get there, and they get thrust into these shenanigans. And we are introduced to quite a few characters that we will see throughout the entire series. This is like the origin story of Narnia. Speaking of that aunt, this is the back of the book. Wow. This is one that she also gave me. Sabriel by Garth Nix. Have I read anything else by him? Or was it just these two? Angel Mage. But this series, along with The Keys to the Kingdom, my whole childhood. I'm pretty sure there's a sequel and a prequel. Don't quote me on that. I haven't read either one of them, but the original trilogy I have read so many fucking times. The pages are yellowing. The spine has been cracked. Whoops, man down. The second book, you can see it more. I've read this thing so many fucking times. Iconic series. This one, again, shaped much of my childhood. This might be the series where I became obsessed with books with maps. Like, this one is small, but very detailed. I fucking love this. And now, oh, big yawn, yeah. At 32 years old, if a fantasy book does not have a map in it, I am fucking rioting. And this might be the reason why. We can blame Garth Nix for all of my insanity. This one follows Sabriel, a girl who has to go into the Old Kingdom, a place full of magic and mystery and intrigue and whatever, to find her dad. He is a person, he's like kind of like a necromancer, but not, because necromancers are bad and the dad is good. He is in the land of the dead. She's got to go find him. She's got to go figure out why he's there, what's going on. There is a lot of shit. Weird shit that goes on. Oh, another big yawn! Why did you wake up if you're so tired? I need to... What? I need to reread this one too. And then, not this actual book, because I can't find the first one in the duology. Oh. It's somewhere. But this one is The Last Little Blue Envelope by Maureen Johnson. The first book is 13 Little Blue Envelopes. Now, the copy that I have of the first one is not my original copy, because this book is, the first one, is the reason that I learned, once again, in a different way, that I cannot trust a bitch, ever. I loaned my copy of 13 Little Blue Envelopes to my friend Vanessa in grade 8 in Mrs. Grew's class. I never saw that book again. We went to different high schools, we lost touch. I have never found that book again. Against my better judgment, I lent out books to other friends over the years too and never got them back, but Vanessa is the first one. I want my book back. Okay, I have not seen her since we were 13, 14 years old. We are now 32. I want it back. And then I don't even know if I read this one until like last year. I don't think I read it when I was a child. I think I got so pissed off that I never got my book back that I didn't read the second one, which I'm only hurting myself at that point. So explain that one to me. I can't. Can you? No. Anyways, the first book follows a girl whose aunt tragically passes away. I think she had cancer. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. And she leaves her a series of 13 little blue envelopes as a way to get her out of her shell, to get her doing new things, trying new things, and fulfilling all of the potential that the aunt knew that she had. And then this one continues on. The saga. But that book, I finally found the same edition. I found this really, really ugly version of both of them. And I was like, well, I want the book, so I guess I'll get these. It was like $2. But I found these ones. These ones are, the covers are much better. My dude! Next up I have The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. This is another book that taught me, once again, I cannot trust a bitch. In this case, I cannot trust authors, ever. Because they live for the reader's tears and they live to piss me off. Not actually accurate, but still. I did a video about this back when I started my channel. It was pre-2019 because it was at the old house. I remember filming it. About books that were, series rather, that were so good up until the ending. The very end of the series, because they This one in particular, I don't want to spoil it, but I have always felt like it was lazy writing and it was the easy way out. And it really pissed me off because the 3 books I loved up until like the last chapter or 2 of the 3rd book. So upset about it. And it like motivated me to never write a book with a bad ending because that really pissed me off. I honestly don't even remember what this one is about because it's been so long and I blocked it out of my life. Follows an untested young princess who must claim her throne, learn to become a queen, and combat a malevolent sorceress in an epic battle between light and darkness. Follows a young Kelsey Raleigh who was raised in hiding after her mom died, far from the intrigue of the royal keep, and in the care of 2 devoted servants who... Are you upset about it too? Who pledged their lives to protect her. She grew up in a cottage deep in the woods, completely oblivious to everything, including the kingdom's haunted past and the fate that will soon rest in her hands. It's like a post-technology land because well before this, the ancestors for the people in this world, they sailed away from their decaying world to find a new place free of modern technology. The problems just started happening again because humans suck ass. We've established this long ago. So 300 years since that has passed, and the society has divided into 3 fearful nations who pay duties to the 4th bad one, ruled by a woman known as the Red Queen. And now Kelsey's turning 19, so the remnants of the Queen's Guard from her mother's rule have appeared to escort her to claim her rightful place as the Queen of the Tyrling. Even though she's got the royal blood, she's got this jewel of immense power and magic to help her rule, she's never felt more uncertain because she grew up in a fucking cottage in the woods. Like, what has prepared her for ruling an entire nation? Nothing. However, she discovers this shocking evil brewing in the heart of her kingdom, and she's like, I gotta do something about this shit. So she does, which throws the entire kingdom into turmoil and unleashes the vengeance of the Red Queen. So she goes on a quest to save her kingdom, meet her destiny, do all of the things, but obviously more secrets, more lies. My memory card was full. Rude. What was I even saying? More secrets, more lies, more treachery is uncovered, and shit is not as easy as it should be, or as she would hope it would be. Next up, we've got this one, The Beginning of an Era, Etiquette and Espionage by Gail Carriger. If you've been around on my channel, you'll know why this one is important to my 32 years and why I included it in this video. If you're new here, welcome. So this one is responsible for the entire start of my Bookternet presence. This is the reason. This right here, we can all say thank you to Gail Carriger for writing this book. Thank you to Indigo for stocking it. And thank you to me for picking it up. I walked into class for this book, first or second day, something. And I had this stacked on top of my notebook with my pencil case and all my supplies ready for class. And somebody saw me reading this and was like, oh, you read YA? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Do you? And she's like, yeah. So we sat together and we became friends. That friend had a booktube channel, which went on to become very popular, and she encouraged me to start a bookstagram, which led to me starting a booktube, and here we are. The friendship did not last, but the booktube channel did. This book is responsible. I had not heard of booktube or bookstagram or anything before this. It was 2015. I didn't realize that people talked about books on YouTube. I had Instagram, but I had never seen people talking about books. I might have used the hashtag bookstagram like once because I saw it pop up, but I had no idea like the community surrounding it. I finally got the courage to start everything in 2017. The day after my birthday, October 22nd actually, was when I started my bookstagram. And then December 13th or 17th, something like that, was when I started my booktube. We're coming up on 8 years of this channel, all because of this book. I reread this series regularly. Also the 2 sequel series. This is set in an alternate history Victorian reality where there are vampires and werewolves and ghosts and just tea and manners related shenanigans. It follows Sophronia, who is an absolute wild child. She is just a menace. So she gets enrolled into this finishing school. She thinks it's somewhere where she's going to be turned into a lady, and she's pissed off about it. However, it's not your regular finishing school. This is a finishing school where you learn the fine art of finishing others. It's a school for spies and intelligencers and assassins, but doing all of that in a very polite, very ladylike way. The series is so much fun. This one's the young adult. The next series is an adult one, and then the third one is new adult. Definitely due for a reread of this one too, especially now that I am kind of like restarting my channel. Now that this thing is out of me, I am not having any plans for having another child, and I'm not jinxing it this time, okay? There's wood over there. I knocked on it. But we're back. So I think I should reread that as an homage. Are you farting on me? He's doing butt toots. That's rude. Didn't even say excuse me. Politeness and manners. We're just talking about it. Come on, my guy. Next up is The Sight by David Clement Davies. If you've read this, you're iconic. I love you. Somebody commented on Instagram or TikTok or something that they've read this and loved it. And I was like, I have never met anybody other than my brother who's read this book. So let me know. We'll start a club. This is fucking iconic. This one and Firebringer. This was one of the first books where my brother told me to read it, and I listened to him. He has given me good recommendations over the years, I must say. I don't like to acknowledge that he has done anything of value for my life, because he's a bitch. I love him. He's my best friend. But he's my older brother. But book recommendations? He's given me several good ones. And, like, he knows now that I give him good recommendations, but why is he not listening to me? Because he's my older brother. All right. We've established it. This one, we both read it as kids, and, like, we talked about it a lot, which was cool for me, because I was the annoying younger sister, and he didn't want to hang out with me. I was a nuisance. I was really fucking annoying. Let's be honest. I'm still really fucking annoying. I'm his little sister. Legally, I have to be. What is going on here, my guy? This is some good shit. This actually might have been what started my love of talking animals in books. This could be it. Not 100% sure. My memory? Garbage. I'm getting so stuffy down here. Can you hear my voice changing right now? I'm all like nasally. It's the cat hair. A bitch is not supposed to be allergic, but I guess maybe I am now. Yes, so it's set in a country that long ago was known as Transylvania. It follows a pack of wolves. You know what pisses me off more than anything? When the blurb on the back of the book, like the description, whatever, does not actually tell you what the fuck is going on in the book. Let me just read this to you, okay? So you can be upset with me too. Not upset with me, but upset alongside me. It is an icy night in the country that long ago was known as Transylvania. The wintry ground crackles as a hunter's paw breaks the hard earth. The wolf pauses, her breath like smoke in the cold air. Then a howl pierces the night. But it is her eyes, not her howl, that speak of danger. Beware of the sight. In the shadow of the Carpathian Mountains, a pack of wolves seek shelter from the vicious winter. A legend clings to them, a story of man and wolf, of power and death. The sight has come into their world. They will never be the same again. Like, I need a little bit more than that. I know some people like that, and that's Gucci, but I need a little bit more than that in my life. But this is really good. I don't remember if this came first or Firebringer, but I know they're related. I'm gonna sound like a broken fucking record here, but I need a reread of these. It's been a very long time. This kid is slip, slop, sliding, widen. Sliding away. Sliding away. Ruined me, this next one. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Sir, I'm gonna implore you. I will invite you to stop sliding. Can you have some control? What are you, 2 months old? He's 10.5 weeks old. So, like, really, what am I expecting? Anyways, this one. This was the very first time that I felt so seen in a book. Sobbed like an absolute buffoon reading this. My mother thought I was unwell mentally, which I was. Very much so. She was worried about me reading this because it would, like, buckets of tears coming out of me. I had an issue with dehydration my whole life, and I definitely did not have enough liquid in my body for that. But somehow found a way. Like, ugly crying, sobbing. Just, oh, what a mess. So good. Never seen the movie, though. Why have I not watched the movie? An oversight on my part. Actually, probably for the best now, because I'm so much more emotional than I was. Oh, that was the other thing too. That was when I was in my heartless Ice Queen phase, where I did not cry at anything. Now, I cry at the drop of a fucking hat. I see something that sets me off. If I go like above a 6 or below a 4, I'm crying at all times. Not the case when I read this. So I was shocked that I was capable of doing that. I've only read this book once though. I reread favorites all the time. Like, I've read most of my books more than once. This one though, I have not had the strength to read it again. I don't even remember what it's about. Nope. It is the story of what it's like to grow up in high school, more intimate than a diary. Charlie's letters are singular and unique, hilarious and devastating. We may not know where he lives, we may not know to whom he is writing. All we know is the world he shares. Copytoon trying to live his life and trying to run from it puts him in a strange course through uncharted territory. The world of first dates, family dramas, and new friends. The world of sex, drugs, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show, where all you need is that perfect song on that perfect drive to feel infinite. And also, I did not have many friends when I read this. Still don't. But that, like, I remember that was like, what the fuck? This is chills just thinking about it.
Oh, chills. Literal chills.
Not gonna reread that. Not until I'm at least, like, emotionally stable. So out of the postpartum phase, probably. I'm never reading that book again. Let's be honest. Next up is Avalon High by Meg Cabot. This is the book that started my love of retellings. I am a hoe for retellings. You too? Yes, you are. You have no choice. This is a King Arthur retelling. Again, King Arthur retellings, I am a hoe for. Obsessed. Obsessed. I don't think I've ever met a King Arthur retelling that I don't like. Yoo-hoo! Who's that? Instagram. Ooh! Ooh! Ooh. Ooh. Sorry. It was the actual account for a thing that I will be talking about. But, like, spoiler alert, Rose City Romance. I still have not applied as an influencer for next year. What the fuck am I doing with my life? Anyways. We'll move on. But I have a book haul coming from Rose City Romance. What the fuck are words? A book event in Windsor, Ontario. The very first one of its kind. It was so fucking cool. It was amazing. I digress. I will be talking about that in a video coming up very soon. But tickets for 2026 I think are on sale now, so go find them. I'll put the link in the description. Anyways, King Arthur retelling. There's a movie. I have not seen most of the movie. I watched part of it, but like very different from the book. It is not what it was in the book, and I got real pissed off when I saw, like, I heard about it and I couldn't finish the movie, which is very unlikely. I've never done that before. This one follows Will and Ellie. She's the new girl at school. And Will is the guy's guy. He is on the football team, I believe. He's a sailor. He is just the most popular bitch in school. But Ellie comes to this new place because she's, her parents are on sabbatical. They're history professors or something. And she meets Will. And she's like, I've never met this guy before. So why does it feel like I have known him my whole life? Like, why is he so familiar to me? And then things start to unfold. Too many coincidences, getting weird. Whoopsies, are we reincarnations? Are we the round table come again? What is going on with that weird ass brother of yours? And how long is it until I can go back and float in my pool? Burning questions that are answered in this book. We're going down, bud! Next up, another beginning of an era. Beautiful Bastard by Christina fucking Lauren. Fuck, I love this series so much. This one's my favorite out of them. The first 3. It changes every time I read them. This was the first, like, spicy romance that I remember reading. My mom recommended this one to me. Also started as Twilight fanfiction, not just 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, bud. The spice starts spicing. When is it? Holy Mary, Mother of God, can you just flip a fucking page? What is going on? Page 10, the spice starts spicing. It's a intern boss type thing. They hate each other. He is a beautiful bastard. He is the boss. They hate each other, but they just want to fucking bone all the time because they're so attracted to each other. Which also, I think, partly inspired the relationship that's happening in my own work in progress right now, because they're fucking idiots and they just bone all the time. Anyways, again, I digress. But this one started my love of spicy romance. I have been on a hockey romance kick lately, which is unfathomable to me as a Canadian who had hockey players in her high school. Like, my best friend was a fucking puck bunny. Why I was friends with her, I couldn't even fucking tell you. But I vowed to never read a hockey romance because it was just too much for me. And then I read one and now I fucking love them. So anyways, but this book started the love of spicy romance. I can trace it back to that one right there. What's next here? What's next? We're getting close to the end. Next one is fucking iconic. If you're the girls that get it. Honestly, The Click by Lacey Harrison. This might have been the one, this is 100% the one, that started my love of unreasonably long series. There are like 20 something books in this series. And there's a spin-off. And if you haven't heard it now, you heard it here first. I am so excited to be feeding you this glorious news. She's writing a new one when they're adults. The Pretty Committee is back. Oh my god. Because last we heard, spoilers if you're ever gonna fucking read this, but like this is ancient history now. Last we heard, Massey was moving off to England. They're back. And I think they're gonna be like in their 30s. So fucking right, let's go. Anyways, I remember reading this in grade 7. I was 12 years old, reading this, wishing that I was one of these bitches. Walking around school, and they're fucking... they're wearing pumps, okay? In designer fashion to school. And I'm sitting here in my little small town school, wishing I could be one of them, but like, for the best. That I was not. They're not good kids. They're not good friends. They're garbage. But these books were so fucking entertaining, okay? So it follows 5 girls, Massey, Dylan, Alicia, Kristen, and the new girl, Claire, who moved to New York from Florida. And she is just your average girl. But bless you. Bless your sweet little heart. The other 4 are the rich popular girls who make everybody else feel like shit actively on a daily basis to make themselves feel better. Where is the parenting happening with these girls? Non-existent. Reading this again after I became a parent, I was just furious with the parents in this. But that is just a sign of my aging, and I'm totally cool with it. Massey is Queen Bee. The other ones either want to be her, they want to take her down, they all, like, everybody kind of hates each other a little bit, but they're best friends. Anyways, longest fucking series that I think I've read. I don't know, Pretty Little Liars might take the cake on that one. Oh, maybe even the Private series by Kate Bright. I don't know. But this was like the first one. This changed me. Again, due for a reread of this. Iconic. Garbage, but iconic. And then this one. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Not the Sorcerer's Stone. Okay, let's get it right. But specifically this copy. Can you see how beat up this is? This is the first copy that I owned. So in grade 3, my teacher started reading this to us. I was 7 years old because we started reading it in September. So it was 7, but it was just before I turned 8. And that changed my whole entire life. Like, drastically so. I ended up buying the second book first because I didn't buy the first one while we were reading along with it. I bought the second book so I could finish it before we got to it in school. After we finished this one, and then I went back and bought this book. So I have owned this book since 2001, maybe very, very early 2002. This copy has been in my life for a very, very long time. I lost count after 50 times reading the entire series. Probably closer to 70 that I've read them. And this is what sparked my love of rereading books. I have read, again, most of my books more than once. My favorite series I tend to reread at least 3 or 4 times before, like, kind of moving on to something else. I was always a big reader before I picked that one up. That changed it, though. Like, I went from being a big reader to being an obsessive reader. I had no other personality. I did nothing else with my time. Like, my mom would drop us off at my aunt's house during the summer when she worked days. And I would go behind the couch in the living room with a stack of books. She would drop us off. I would get something to eat, go back there, would not move for 8 hours. They couldn't find me sometimes. I wouldn't get up to go pee unless somebody told me to. I wouldn't get up to eat unless somebody brought me food or physically moved me into the kitchen. It was a fucking problem. I would still do that, but I have 4 tiny humans and 2 pets to take care of. And also myself. But that, like, has been neglected multiple times because I'm reading a fucking book. But that took me from being a reader to being a fucking reader. Like, it was a problem. Anyways, we all know what that one's about. We don't need to dwell on it. Then, I've got this big bitch. The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. Not the only copy of this that I own. But my favorite one. That is a hefty book. It's more the movie than, like, the book. Because I've only read the book once or twice. At least, like, the first one. I've read all of them. All of, like, the stories. At least once. But I think I've read this one the most times. But the movie, I watched every single day as a kid. I was terrified of the witch. The Wicked Witch. I remember every time she would come onto the screen, I would hide under this very specific blanket that my Yayan Papu still have. I'm pretty sure that blanket's older than me now. I would hide and, like, cower until she got off the screen. And if I watched it right now, I probably would do the same thing, just for nostalgia purposes. But this one is my favorite copy of my favorite fairy tale, classic, whatever. This also might have been the one that had me wanting to get special editions of all of my favorite books that they do, like these special ass ones. And this one's annotated. It's got a big map, a colorful rainbow map. So I am a happy camper. This one has a big ass introduction about his life, about Oz, about everything. It includes all of the original illustrations in the original correct colors. Rare drawings, photographs, and maps, as well as motion picture stills. Like, it's the Centennial Edition. This is a very comprehensive look at the phenomenon that is The Wizard of Oz. And I am obsessed. I fucking love it. Why didn't I pick Hamilton for this, too? Shit. Especially with this, because I listen to Hamilton every single day in prep for labor, because I was going to go unmedicated. But then I opted for the drugs. That would have been a good one, because I was fucking obsessed with Hamilton. Still am, TBH. Next up is A Butler's Guide to Entertaining by Nicholas Clayton. This one I picked because it reminds me of the trip to France that I went on for school, and we also went to England. This is my first time in Europe. I was obsessed with England, yeah, as a kid. And I got this at a gift shop at Buckingham Palace. And it was, like, just a super cool trip. It was a cool experience. I'm not friends with any of the people that I went with anymore. Like, those relationships kind of, like, fizzled out after school. But this trip, like, I got my first tattoo. This was my first trip by myself on an airplane, like, without a family member. I had big plans for this trip. My husband hates it when I say this. Because I started dating him, like, 2 weeks before I went on this trip. And for the months leading up, I was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to find a Frenchman to have a passionate affair with just so I can see if he will say, during an orgasm. Sadly, could not find this out because I started dating my husband right before the trip. But, like, we're married now and it's been almost 10 years. So, like, worth it, but science, okay? Getting in the way of science. Dude, I got 2 more. We're almost done here. Penultimate one, marked by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. I don't even know if this series will hold up again if I read it now. Probably not. It follows a character named Zoe. First off, I do not like reading characters named Zoe because more often than not, 100%, they are stupid. And I'm like, am I like that? Not as much, but often, yes. I was obsessed with this series. It became my personality for a very long time. But the reason that I chose this one is because it was so funny to me at the time. Honestly, it still is. So yeah, it follows a girl named Zoe, and she's got a best friend named Stevie Ray. When I read this in high school, my best friend at the time was named Rachel. I called her Ray all the time. And I found out shortly after I started reading this that her parents had the name Stephen picked out for if she was a boy because they didn't find out the sex before she was born. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? A Zoe and a Stevie Ray, and my best friend is named Ray, and she would have been Steven. It was fucking iconic the way it lined up. I told every single person that I saw. If I was reading this book, people found out. Everybody knew. I'm sure everybody was so fucking annoyed with grade 9 me. But I had to tell every single person because what are the fucking chances? What are the chances? Anyways, it follows Zoe. She becomes marked as a fledgling vampire to join the House of Night. It's not like a vampire bit you and you become a vampire. Like, no, you become marked by the goddess and you become a vampire. But to become a vampire, you have to go through this whole process of being marked and being changed, and not everybody survives that. So she could have been marked for death or to live her life as a vampire. So she has to leave her friends, her family, everything that she knows to go to this boarding school, basically. And not only that, but she is marked as super duper special by the goddess Nyx. She's not just a regular fledgling vampire. She's a super special cool one. That pissed me off how I said that. I apologize. She's got amazing powers, but it comes along with bloodlust and an unfortunate ability to imprint on her human ex-boyfriend. Poor Heath, he goes through it. My goodness. However, she is not the only one who's been given these super duper special powers. The leader of the Dark Daughters, the elite cool girl group at the school, she's misusing her powers, and Zoe's like, somebody's gotta do something about this, and I guess it's gonna fucking be me. I don't want to, but I guess I'm going to, and then shenanigans ensue from there. What's her name? Aphrodite. Yeah, Aphrodite. That bitch. I don't think I've ever finished the series. I don't think I've read the last book or 2 books. Oh, that is an oversight. That must be rectified immediately. Okay? Sweetness? Yes, and I've got somewhere on the TBR, there's like a sequel, a spin-off, and I've never read that either. I've also got other books by PC Cast. I think PC is the mom and Kristen is the daughter. It's a mother-daughter duo writing that. Anyways, this nasally voice is pissing me off. I got 1 left. If that was not actually 32, I apologize. Math is not my strong suit. I did my best. Okay? But I can't count that high. Who you hooed me? Now, again, Kurt. This husband, always messaging me. Always being a bitch. I'm totally kidding. He's in Toronto right now. He's very far away. It's 4 hours. But still. So we've had a day without him. He left at 2 a.m. to get there on time. Oh, yikes. Finally, we have A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. Again, another book that became my whole entire personality. And while it's not the book that started my love of historical fiction, I went through a big phase. I don't love it as much anymore, but I went through a big historical fiction phase. And the book that started that was, again, from the same aunt who got me Sabriel and The Magician's Nephew. What else? I don't even know what else she got me, but she was responsible for all of that. But this one, I remember spending way too much time reading these books. The third one, I think, was one of the first times where I was so, like, satisfied but dissatisfied at the same time with the way a series ended. Like, it all wrapped up nicely, except for, like, one loose thread, and I'm like, there's gonna be a sequel series. And I have held out hope since then. And she's never said, like, no, it's not gonna happen. I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere where she's like, it could. So I have been hooked along. I have been waiting for so many years for that damn book. One day. Hopefully. Carter, what are you doing up there? I need to check on this child. Give me a hot second here. He's like low-key leapfrogging through the upstairs. He moved 2 of the beds. He's just having a blast by himself right now. I am so proud of that kid. He said no mama to me. He said no mama in the night. He took my phone from me because he wanted to play with it. It was like 2 a.m. something. And I'm like, why are you awake? He said no mama. And he's been saying no and yeah. Inappropriate situations. If any other parents watching this have or had a kid with speech delays or a nonverbal child like my oldest that I'm talking about, you understand what it's like when they finally say a word or they start communicating in other ways, and I'm just so fucking proud of them. Okay, we're not crying right now. We're not doing that. We're talking about this book. by Libba Brave. A fantastic book. This one follows Gemma. I can't read. Oh my god. She isn't like other girls. What a way to start. Like, I mean, of the time. But like, let's not do that anymore. Girls with impeccable manners, who speak when spoken to, who remember their station, who will lie back and think of England when it's required of them. That's a real fucked up concept that I didn't know about when I read that. And then I learned what that was. And I was appalled. 16-year-old Gemma is an island unto herself, sent to the Spence Academy in London after tragedy strikes her family in India. Lonely, guilt-ridden, and prone to visions of the future that have an uncomfortable habit of coming true, Gemma finds a chilly reception. But she is not completely alone. She's been followed by a mysterious young man who warns her to close her mind against the visions. For it's at Spence that Gemma's power to attract the supernatural unfolds. There she becomes entangled with the school's most powerful girls and discovers her mother's connection to a shadowy group. No, you don't like that one? Called the Order. It is there that her destiny waits, if only she can believe it. I remember being so creeped out reading those, but like I fucking loved it. Again, that became my personality for a long time, which is why I included it in this list. Which brings us to the end of all of this. Thank you for sticking around if you stuck around for this long. I hope you enjoyed this journey, this insight into my mind and my life, and some books that are important to me. Let me know down below if you've read any of these, some books that have been important to you in your life, in your journey as a reader, or something that completely pissed you off. Looking at you, Ernest Hemingway. Or if that's just too much, you don't have a lot of time, drop some hearts down below, preferably purple ones, because that's my favorite color. As always, to stay updated with my current reads and how I'm feeling about them, and if I reread any of these fuckers, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, TikTok, and Storygraph, all at Zoe's All Booked, which I will leave linked down below. Actually, I don't use Twitter anymore. Why do I keep saying that? I have not used Twitter in years. Threads. I use Threads. There we go. It's all linked down below. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video so everyone else can join in on the madness, the chaos, the shit show. I hope you all have a wonderful day and get at least a little bit of uninterrupted reading time. I love you awesome nerds, and I will see you in the next one, and I will likely have my filming buddy with me again because he's a barnacle and I can't get rid of him. But I don't want to because he's so cute. I love you.